Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I do have a topic for today, but just before we start, I went to the charity shop earlier. I bought this absolutely gorgeous blanket. God, I would love to be able to knit like this. I put it on my little bedside table-y thing just to sort of brighten it up. I'm actually really trying with the room. I bought this base of fabric and I feel like, I mean, you know what colour it was before. And the walls are green. And you know, blue and green should never be seen. So yeah, I feel like it looks like a nice wallpaper now, kind of. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's better than it was before. So yeah, and then I also bought this, which I know is probably for a much, much bigger baby. But isn't it lovely? It was £3 and it's Winnie the Pooh too, and you know, we all know how much Disney clothes are. Cough, extortionate. Okie dokie, so let's get into it. Just a point, you might notice that the lighting is a little different than it was in the intro because I'm literally filming this part of the video like 5 hours afterwards. It's really hard to sort of get a minute here to sort of just, I don't know, film, or you're constantly being, you know, interrupted and things are happening. So yeah, if the videos are a bit crappy, you'll know why. Actually, I've just been out and got some bubble tea, which is the most amazing thing ever. Would recommend. But yeah, let's get started on the topic. So the topic of when does role playing go too far? Obviously, small disclaimer, this is really just my personal opinion, and you know, you can do whatever you want to and don't listen to me type thing. So yeah, that was just a quick disclaimer. Don't be mad at me. Yeah, River has wagged his hand at you now. So yeah, so I'm gonna start with the first point. So the first point is on the subject of breastfeeding. And recently I've seen a lot on that topic resurface. First, what I want to say is, like, I get the cringe, like, it is cringy, like, I've had friends who have been, like, sent me messages and things, saying, oh, you know, this is just cringy and I just can't deal with this, and I'm talking just in the context of, like, role play right now. So, like, I get why it is cringy, but at the same time I feel annoyed that it is. And given that role playing bottle feeding is so normal, I really don't understand why it's any different, and I kind of feel like in some ways that's not okay. I'm not sure if my point is coming across, but it's just a thing that bothers me, that you know, bottle feeding in role play is just like so accepted, like everybody does it, even people who don't sort of claim to role play do the bottle feeding thing, but then when somebody posts a picture and it's like, you know, breastfeeding, everyone's like, oh, that's weird. And yeah, it just, I don't know, it's the double standard that gets to me, because, you know, obviously breastfeeding is the most natural thing in the world. There's nothing weird or shameful about it, obviously, doing it to a, you know, doing it with a real baby. And I feel like it's probably one of the things that bonds, you know, a mother to her child the most. Obviously there are 1,000 things which bond a mother and baby, but yeah, I just feel like it's such a natural thing to want to do. So it bothers me that one is seen as, you know, absolutely fine, and the other is seen as weird and creepy. So yeah, I just feel like, is it because it's somehow ingrained in our, you know, psyche that there is something, you know, slightly shameful about it, or, you know, I don't know, has it been ingrained in us that it's somehow weird, and that's why we feel like the bottle feeding is like fine but the role-playing breastfeeding is not? Or is it something else? Like, because I get the people who think it's cringy, yeah, I feel like I'm totally overusing the word cringy. But yeah, I get it. I just don't know why it is. So that was my first point, and I would really love to hear, you know, any opinions that you might have in the comment section. And also, before I go on to my second point, I must say sorry for the camera wobbling. I'm having a lot of trouble with my camera at the moment, and I'm having to hold it right now. So yeah, just very sorry about that, because this is probably not going to be the most aesthetic video in the world. Okay, so the second point is outings, whether role playing outings goes too far. Obviously I don't think it does, because I do it all the time. But I guess what I wanted to talk about with this like bullet point is that is it sort of like, do you tell people on outings? So like when you're out, you know, and you've got a pushchair, a lot of like old sweet grannies come up to you, they do, you know the type, and they're like, oh, you know, super sweet baby, how old is he, are you all doing all right? Like, I don't know, they just ask the sweetest things, and I always feel like I am the rudest person, because I'm just like, I'm fine, and then I just find the quickest way to, you know, scurry away, because I never ever like reactions. Do you know what I mean? That is not my cup of tea. I avoid you know, people knowing at all costs, and I don't think that's bad, because when I take River out, I'm not doing it, you know, to draw attention to myself. I just am doing it because it's fun, you know. But I guess in the context of when somebody is having a conversation with you, or it's somebody who, I don't know, you may know semi-well, obviously you have to tell them. And yeah, it's just really hard to know when that threshold has been passed, you know what I mean? Like, especially when you're out and about and a stranger comes up to you, when is it going too far to just be like, yeah, I'm fine, and oh, he's, you know, just, you know, going along with it and then trying to run away. Obviously, you should be honest, but yeah, I just think it's a grey area right there, because again, I just really hate reactions. I've been in here for a few days and I've literally told nobody that he's even here, because I just don't want to deal with it. So yeah, that's my second point. When do you feel obliged to tell people when you're out and about, and is it going too far to not tell anybody at all? So then we move on to my third and last point, and I feel like my first 2 points were pretty positive. Like, I definitely don't think outings or anything to do with breastfeeding roleplay is wrong. But then we get into things which do make me uncomfortable. And that would be reborns with disabilities and illnesses. And I feel like this is a very sensitive topic, and I've been like majorly triggered by it in the past. I mean, ones with disabilities, obviously we see sculpts of babies, you know, with things like Down syndrome very often, and I think that's great, you know, it's really good representation, and I feel like, you know, it should be encouraged. So I feel like things like that definitely don't go too far for me. But then you have role plays, and I know you guys have seen the one, like, oh gosh, they're, I don't know, they're role playing that their baby is sick, or that their baby might need an operation, or even, you know, subjects like miscarriage and terminal illness. I mean, it gets really dark. And just the fact that somebody would have that kind of sick fantasy, let's face it, and then put it on the internet just really disturbs me. And it just feels like role plays like that really are glamorizing kind of like just terrible, terrible real world issues that should just not be played around with. And I know people who do those role plays really don't mean any harm, but at the same time, I don't know, they've really, really bugged me in the past, and yeah, I've seen a few. I won't get into it, but they've been just terrible, to be honest. Yeah, I know a lot of people, you know, have this opinion that there are certain subjects that really are too deep to, you know, play make believe around on the internet, and that would be where roleplay definitely goes too far for me. So yeah, I would just love to hear your opinion on this topic. I actually had more points, but I felt like they were kind of boring points. So yeah, on my 3 points, which was the breastfeeding, the outings, and the reborns with either disabilities, which obviously I have no problem with, I think that's great, but then the ones with illnesses, yeah, roleplay illnesses, obviously I have a problem with. But I just love to hear, you know, whatever you guys think. If you think it's fine, if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, whatever you want to say, please, yeah, please pop it in the comments, and I want to talk to you guys. So, okay, I will end this now. Hope you're all doing okay. Bye!